Okay. I'm Chris21 here with,
Yugitopia.
and he is a Inferno player that just started posting up on YouTube. I randomly came across his on my daily Inferno search, and I actually liked what he was talking about. So I asked him to come here to promote his channel a little bit. You guys get to know him a little bit. So, first off, why don't you say something about your channel?
Well, I started the channel because, actually, I'm not the one who was going to start the channel. It originally was going to be me and my friend, so eventually you guys may be seeing some videos of my other friends. And that's why it's called Yugitopia, kind of a place where people can come and talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! But the reason I started is because I want to get better at the game, and I want to teach people as much as I can teach, and have other people kind of learn from that too.
So, a pretty good reason. You just didn't start because you wanted to be famous in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's not how I got started, but alright, why don't we start off with, I seriously just forgot the 3 questions that I told you I was going to ask. So, alright, why don't we start, why is my camera doing that? Why don't we start off with, what do you think Infernies are doing? Do you think they'll actually be a good competitive deck towards the end of the format?
I know right in the beginning of the format that YCS Guatemala, he topped 16, and so that in itself says that Infernities are, they're still there. They're not totally dead. And by the end of the format, I think that eventually it's not going to be like they're going to be a top deck, but they are most likely going to be played more, because I know that there was a tournament in Japan or
the World Qualifier last year where they got top 16. Yeah,
they've got Lava Ball Chain. So as soon as that comes out, you're probably going to see a lot more Infernity players.
Yeah, I know.
I know I'm planning on getting it.
Yeah, but are you going to be planning on running more than one or just one?
What was that?
Are you going to be planning on running just one level chain or more?
I'm probably just going to take in one level ball chain because, in my opinion, the extra deck has to be as versatile as possible with Infernities, because Infernities is a deck where you kind of take a lot of risk in the fact that you're top decking most of the time, because that's where Infernities thrive. And so you want to have as much versatility as possible in the sense that you want to come across a situation and be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
The
fact that you mentioned top decking just instantly made me think of when I was at a locals one time playing Infernities. I just draw a card, top deck Archfiend. They're like, of course. I'm like, it's like, what else do you expect?
Yeah, a while ago, it was a while ago, around the first time I started playing Infernities. Of course, I was main decking 3 Archfiend, and I was playing against an anti-meta duelist. And, he beat me by deck out, but it was 3 turns in a row that I had top decked Archfiend. And everybody was like, that's full. Stack that. And, of course, I didn't stack that. But
yeah.
And top decking is a really big aspect of Infinity, because you've got those duels where that's all the duel depends on is you top decking. There's been matches where, I was going to lose if I didn't top deck an Archfiend or a Mirage or a Necromancer, and, it just saved me.
Now, I do have to ask, since you are playing Infernities for a while, you probably played your fair share of Gravekeepers. Now, how do you deal with those?
What was that?
How do you deal with Gravekeepers?
I hate Gravekeepers. In the beginning of the game, I play as fast as possible. I buy almost everything I can. I solve everything I can. But if it tends to get to the late game, I play as conservative as possible. Really, that's the only thing you can do. As soon as Gravekeepers get that Necro Valley out, you don't want any dead MSD, or not dead, but any blind MSD. You always want to save it for Necro Valley in that matchup.
I have actually found out a good way for Infernities to be Gravekeepers, and that is with these two cards, Mistworm and Gaia Knight.
Yeah.
You had Gaia Knight out already. You go Mistworm. You're basically going to be able to stall them out a little bit. And plus, it's 25 and 26. Gravekeepers have a hard time getting past the 2,000.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
No. Brothers are being real annoying right now.
I can hear that in the background. I'm lucky. I only have one older brother that's very annoying.
I wish I had an older brother. I'm the oldest.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like to be the oldest brother. Of course, most of the time, I don't even know what it's like to be the younger brother because I don't hang out with him at all or anything. It's like I'm just kind of on my own. But that's probably how we're so different. He's a factory worker. I want to be something else. But, alright. Next question. What are your favorite pets to put in Infernities?
Infernity Guardian.
Well, I don't think that can be considered a tech anymore because a lot of people are figuring out that that is just a very good card right now because the launcher is F1.
And see, the reason it's not becoming a tech is because people realize that it's so good. A while ago, if you put an Infernity Guardian in an Infernity deck, people are going to say that you're crazy, and that way would be considered a tech. But throughout the entire Infernity format and throughout this format, Infernity Guardian is just an awesome card.
I know.
I mean, it's taken me so many times.
I play on Dueling Network, and literally it's like I'm playing against someone. I bring out Guardian. The first time they attack into it, then it's like, okay. They don't realize that it can't be destroyed. Then they have to pick Dark Hole. I don't know how many times I was playing Hero deck. I summon out a whole bunch of monsters. He goes Central Tribute while his Guardian out on the field. He destroys his own field and leaves me with the Guardian.
There's been countless times where I've torrentialed on my own when I summon, and I've Dark Holed when I would have destroyed my monsters and attacked directly with Guardian.
The Guardian's just very good. The fact that it's both you and your opponent's cards.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly what Infinities need in the sense that if they run out of their spell and traps to protect their life points, they've got that extra line of defense.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big weakness with Infinities. Is if you can get over their monsters, then they're going to have to top deck in order, because they thrive from the monster effects themselves, and their monsters stay on the field. And so if you get over their monsters, it kind of leaves their life points open.
Yeah,
so that's what the Guardian's doing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I still got to pick up one before it jumps up in price, which hopefully shouldn't be till after December.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, if it is, I mean, you might want to pick up a few more so you can sell and make a profit.
Mm.
So now you're in a similar boat as me where you can't get barriers, right?
Yes.
Now I got lucky and I got a very good deal on this one. I traded about $20 worth of cards for it, so I got a pretty good deal for a first ed secret rare mint condition. Got a pretty good deal.
Actually, you know the mat? I don't know if you've seen.
Yes, I've seen that.
The mat that I record on, the Infernity mat. I basically traded an arm and a leg for that thing. I went there and I saw it, and I'm like, man, I have to have it. And I mean, I did. I traded like a Ultra Plague Spreader, Thunder King, Effective, and this was when those cards were
like $20, $30.
Yeah, I really did trade an arm and a leg for that thing. I mean, I just needed to have it. He said that this other kid had offered him a really good price on it, and if I could beat the price, that I could have it. Oh, I beat the price. I don't regret it at all, though. because the cards I traded, I'm not running in Infernities, and so I don't really need them right now.
Did you ever run Plague in Infernities?
Do what?
Did you ever run Plague Spreader Zombie in Infernities?
Actually, a while ago, I was thinking about trying to tech in, what is it called? Mystic Tomato, Plague Spreader, and a Summoner Monk in Infernities, and then boost the spell card count, and then maybe cut down on the Infernity count too, because I wanted to kind of make a deck that I'm going to immediately be able to use the Grovel Ball Chain when it comes out. And so that was a deck idea that I had. Turns out throughout testing on doing that, where it just didn't work as well as the regular Infernity build, so I kind of gave up on it. That's like really the only time I've ever thought about using Plague Spreader, but I've seen it done. It's pretty popular in Infernity.
That was like when I first started. It's like, okay, I gotta get Plague Spreader. I traded for it. It's like just because you can make it where you top deck the Archfiend. And then it's like I took it out and it's like I don't like it. But it's good, but then it's like I don't like the level jumping like what Beal does. I just don't like that play style. But now that you mentioned Summoner Monk, I do want to ask you, do you think Summoner Monk will be the most popular Infernity build?
In the beginning. I seriously think that right in the beginning, as soon as Grovel Chain comes out, most of the Infernity players who haven't really tested it out thoroughly are really going to stray towards the Summoner Monk build because I mean it makes sense. First of all,
I mean, I mean, but with that, I honestly think it's like this. With that, you run the 2-power duality, then you run a bunch of other spells that you don't use. I think because Infernities already have a very powerful spell that's not always usable, Zero Mats. And because it's not always usable, why don't you just have the 2 duality, then the 3 Zero Mats? That way, if you don't have your Summoner Monk, you still have the Zero Mats that can ultimately change the flow of the game.
Yeah, and I tried Zero Mats. I tried teching it at 1. I mean, that card just doesn't agree with me. It really hates me. So, I mean, Zero Max would be run in a Summoner Monk build. It really would be run. Its second effect isn't bad at all. A lot of people, though, they think that Archfiend gets its effect off of Zero Max, but what they don't realize is that it misses timing because its effect is that you special summon it when you have no cards in your hand, and then after that you have to check the field and see if any cards are
lower
destroyed or not, and so that makes it miss timing. And so there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be running that Summoner Monk build and thinking that the Archfiend doesn't miss timing, and they're just going to...
Yeah, but then it's like, when that happens, you can become big on YouTube just because you posted up a good explanation of that. But I do want to ask something that you may know. It's with Starlight Road. Because I did watch your video where you explained that, and I thought, then wouldn't Starlight Road also could miss its timing because it's not a guarantee of destroying? Because that...
Yeah, you can't activate Starlight Road on it. I watched a video on this literally. It's not like I know this from knowing the rulings, but I know this because I've watched a video on it. Whereas Starlight Road does not get its effect off if Zero Max is activated, even if it will hit multiple targets, because it isn't always a guarantee, and so it's really hard to explain. I mean, I'm not like a really...
You're not a giant duelist girl.